Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro Series. I'm Madals, and we are in the next game rather rapidly. They ninja started on me, so sorry stream for not having a big introduction. We are in game number 1 of this best of 3 though, and Frost is going to be starting it. They're in the south spawn positions and to the lower right. Representing ESC, we have the red Terran player GoOdy. And his opponent down in the lower left, we've got, representing Alien Invasion, the yellow Zerg player, Golden. So Golden up against GoOdy here. GoOdy able to go through both Lambo in the previous round, and before that Salt the Wound. Some very long games. Been waiting quite a bit for these. Last game up against Lambo, we saw GoOdy go for his stylistic, very patient, steady, strategic siege up, defensive play. Just with a couple of Thor hit squads going out to clear up bases. Of course, Golden though, he has been able to beat GoOdy in the past, showing some very impressive play, a top caliber player, probably the favourite to beat in the ESL Pro Series this summer season. How will GoOdy do? Well, we'll find out soon. In terms of opening, we've got a barracks coming down first, so this is a very safe, normal opening. Going to be incredibly interesting to see what happens off the back of this. Probably the biggest thing to keep an eye on is whether or not we see a gas getting taken from GoOdy. If we get a Reaper coming down, or if over on Golden's side, we do actually see the gas. So this is going to be really, really quick. Keep an eye out on everything that's coming through here. But yeah, boom, spawning pool on its way out, and yeah, this is going to be an early gas. Golden can potentially get quite aggressive with this. He could also be relatively defensive with it as well, using it just to get that speed down in order to engage up against Hellions if they start pushing or prodding or anything like that. The giveaway will be whether a gas is pulled at 100 or not from Golden. If it is pulled, then it's only going to be for speed. If the drones stay in there, much more likely we'll be seeing, say, some bailing or maybe roach aggression come through. Both are viable, especially if Golden wants to prevent GoOdy getting to his comfort zone of that late game mass mech army. GoOdy now coming up, he's going to get a good scout of this, and note that the drones are getting pulled out of the gas, so it's only for that 100 full speed. 16 stayed over. Potentially they're going to come back in. This is what I was quite keeping an eye out for, and oh, this is such a back and forth. Note one drone stays in there. GoOdy wants to know exactly what's coming here, because whether or not the gas is coming is actually a big, big tell. So the SCV moves away now. Are we going to see drones go back in? We may do. And now the reason I suspected that is because Golden went over the normal gas amount by 16. That's not like he missed it by one drone. That is a big overcommitment to gas if you're only getting speed out. So GoOdy really quite wise moving back up there going, hang on, what's going on? And he probably checked on the gas to see how much was remaining before actually engaging there. So this is a really good play. Smart play by GoOdy. Little attack, little prod coming in from these Zerglings. 6 of them making their way forward. 3 Marines raiding in the front, more coming down. Plus, of course, that factory being produced. GoOdy got his natural base up though, and this is still all looking pretty nice at the moment on both sides. Golden just adding in some more drones. Not put any back into that gas as of yet, so I'm expecting to see a third base relatively soon from the Zerg player, most likely within the next minute. Another little poke, another little prod coming in from these Zerglings. Want to take a look at what else is there, when are they coming in, what are they doing, and when can I engage up against that? Because Golden, he's going to know how GoOdy plays. GoOdy has a very well-known reputation of being the Panzer General, someone who wants to last out, keep the game going for a heck of a long time, just to get that mech force up. And so Golden has 2 ways to combat that if he so wants to. And all in all, if he wants to try and battle that out in the late game, he's going to need things like Swarm Host, Vipers, maybe some Muta play like we saw Lambo try. Alternatively, he's got to try and end it before it gets there. And one way to do that is try and contain GoOdy over and over. Gas has now been pumped out. What is actually coming down here? Okay, speed was never started. That is really interesting that speed never got started. I wondered why there was a lot of gas banked up. This is all cool. And that actually makes more sense now because speed never got started. And I just assumed that it did because it was started, then obviously got cancelled. Potentially there, it was to try and mind game GoOdy into thinking there was some kind of roach rush coming or something along those lines. quite a defensive position taken up by GoOdy here, so could potentially have been thinking that. But yeah, Roach coming down, Zergling speed on its way, gas is being taken yet again. Notice second gas is also on its way. This Roach can allow some Roaches to come out, defend against the Hellions, plus Banshee on its way through here. So GoOdy going for that standard strategy that we've seen from him time and time again. But yeah, with this all coming through, things looking pretty damn good actually. At the moment, we've got a decent number of Hellions here. The Banshee, of course, going to start harassing. The Overlord will see this, and importantly sees that something is resurging here. This is actually quite a good mind game. It's the Cadius reactor upgrade. So this isn't Cloak, but there's no way for Golden to know that. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see this cancelled, because frankly, the medevac upgrade to Starring Energy is completely useless for the build GoOdy goes for. It's not something that is ever used. If it does get allowed to finish, I'll be quite confused by it, because while it will benefit Hellbats, it's not something that's really useful. So, no poking now, the Lings getting forced away, the Hellions moving forward, of which there's a fair few of them. Roach is coming out into the field now, but as of now, there's only one on the field, more in production. A heck of a lot of drones getting taken out, and GoOdy being very aggressive here. Golden taking significant losses, already 11 workers killed, and the Hellions still going strong. Managed to take down that Queen. Has Golden been a bit too greedy here by not getting down those Roaches sooner? The Hellions will be pushed back now, but the worker count in GoOdy's favour. But what's this? Golden going for Ventral Sacks, getting down drop tech. Maybe going for a big Roach drop. Certainly something that could be on the cards. He's got +1 coming through and Roach speed. Where are the Overlords? Are they banking up anywhere? No. Not grouping up, waiting anywhere as of yet. But still, plenty of time, plenty of stuff that could be coming through. The Hellions ready to try round 2 here. Gonna be trying to get a bit of damage down. These drones could be in a dangerous spot. A Queen pops out, the Roaches trying to duke it all through. 2 more workers go to the flames. But still, Hellions back out. Things looking good. GoOdy overall has lost a lot less resources, under half that of his opponent. Plus he's picked up a good number of drones, so that's always going to be a good trade in terms of resources lost. Up now come the Roaches. They're looking for the opportunity to engage if they can, but with the bunker up, not really much chance. GoOdy utilising the map effectively, putting a tank right on the edge there, just to give good coverage. And this tank can actually cover both entrances very nicely, all of his natural entrance. And that's really important for GoOdy. Puts him in a good foothold. More Roaches now getting pumped out. Bear in mind there's already 17. This is certainly looking to be a Roach drop, and this could be a very effective strategy, because for the moment GoOdy only has a handful of missile turrets up. Where are the Overlords going though? And more importantly, when are they going to be going? Okay, in they come. All the Overlords on their way. The Roaches getting grouped up. The danger, as always, will be the missile turrets and the Vikings. If too many of the Overlords die, a lot of the Roaches go down. Quick little detonation there. The Overseer coming through, taking a quick little peek, going, okay, what have you got? Sees the Vikings. That could be a bit of a problem. GoOdy has expanded up to the top left, taking a ninja base. In now comes these Roaches. They're trying to take down this missile turret, trying to prevent too much coming through there. Down come the Roaches. They're waiting to come and group up. Another Widow Mine waiting about. All very irritating, all very annoying. GoOdy's hidden base up to this top left could become vital, because for the moment, Golden assumes that his opponent is only on 2 bases. And for now he is, but that third is going to start really racking up quite a lot of stuff very quickly. The Vikings now see this coming through. Overlord's busy trying to drop this out. I'm surprised Golden went for this, because he knew the Widow Mine hit earlier on. The Overlord's going to get taken down. This is potentially a lot of damage done. Golden has been prevented from going for his basically main battle plan, and that was to get that drop into the main base. The Vikings are now racking up a hideous number of Overlord's kills, and that was very unsuccessful, and I'm surprised, as I said, Golden went for that, knowing that a Widow Mine was there, and the vision was likely going to be granted. Nice little Widow Mine hit goes off. The Roach is going to be forced back once more, as Golden tries to secure up his 4th base. This 4th, though, when GoOdy already has his 3rd up, again, is going to be quite tough. Golden's got a decent amount of money. He's got his Spire nearly done, plus 2 missile attack on its way. But as of yet, we're not really getting shown the grand scheme plan from Golden. Oh, okay, he's expanding up again, so taking a 5th. This is still making progress. The infestation pit on its way through. Golden definitely a bit behind at this stage, just because he went so much into that roach drop and didn't get anything for it. It's a big investment. More importantly, Golden is going to have, quite unfortunately for him, his overall star sense a bit thrown off. Probably for quite a while. He doesn't know about that top left-hand base. And that means he assumes that this is GoOdy's third. And that he's only just secured this up. And while this may look like quite a large army, it's not inconceivably large, considering GoOdy has had such very low losses this game. And so Golden, as a result of this, may be assuming that, okay, I'm still massively economically ahead. And while this top left base isn't doing too much, the Mewling's coming down here, meaning the rest of the bases mine out a heck of a lot slower. There's the additional 2 gases. They're probably one of the most important things about that hidden base. The Golden isn't accounting for as of yet. And considering that he hasn't had too many stop checks on the army, the amount of production facilities, that sort of thing, there's not really many hints to him that that's there and that the additional income is coming through. So Golden really needs to make sure that he's just keeping checks of where these bases are. And he is actually about to discover this top left-hand base. This is massive. The fact he's about to see that is game-changing because it's not really defended. The Mutalisks can go over there. At the moment, a couple of Hellions are roasting drones once again. 22, 23 plus workers getting taken out this game so far. And this harassment is really irritating. Still though, Overlord now discovered this base. One lone roach picking away at it. And this wasn't discovered too late. It did mine a fairish chunk, but hey, that's going to be okay. All in all, Golden's able to shut that down, and GoOdy has lost quite a big chunk. GoOdy's also supply blocked. I've just noticed that. That is... he's not making any more supply depots. Like, sure, he doesn't have that much gas, but still. He's got enough minerals to do this. This is a very, very long supply block for GoOdy. He's adding in more command centers. That does clear it up, but still, big supply block there. More units coming through. That stopped actually a lot of Thors being produced, and there's only actually 2 on the field at the moment, which means the 19 Mutalisks could have a bit of fun. Roach is still trying to pick apart and intercept any Hellions that may be trying to roast some friendly drones. But the Mutas finishing that off. Still, we see the Orbiter Command having nice little float around, and is Golden really going to leave that? He knows it's there, but he's not keeping any units around. Instead, he appears to be gearing up to go for a big push, but look at this defensive position. I'm amazed the Mutalisks haven't been brought over there to deal with that base, because the fact this has been allowed to live is such a gift to GoOdy. Such a gift. It's insane. He's just allowed to keep it there. He can now call down mules repeatedly. And with all of this, he's now got basically all of that mineral income there. The gases sure haven't been taken yet, but SCV production is going to allow them to come up pretty soon. And Golden, sure, he killed off 14 workers, but it's the muling that's the big factor there. Golden himself, though, he's taken a hidden base up at the top right, so he's continuing this on. Meanwhile, roach drops getting geared up, ready to come into the natural most likely. And this is going to be a multi-prong attack. And this is the best way to minimize the siege tank splash damage. Is coming from all angles, prevent those siege tanks from actually hitting much at once. The Muta's waiting to go in. There's a decent number of missile turrets all about. But still, ready to go for these overlords. They're on their way through. Going to try and get some more damage down. Nice little pick off of a couple of Hellions there. But that means the Mutas aren't in this engagement. Only one missile turret defending this natural base. In come the overlords. They're going to be able to get through pretty much undisrupted. The Overlord just manages to get all the roaches out. That's a nice little win there. Vikings coming on over. A lot of tanks getting pulled back, but this is where suddenly GoOdy has to prioritize where he wants to defend. His natural base getting attacked pretty steadily. The Thor's coming back to try and stop this. Where are the Mutalisks? They're just running around playing defense up against the Hellions, not actually engaging. The Roaches now into the main, trying to pick away at some production facilities, but with the Thors, with the tanks coming back up, this is causing a lot of problems. Still, the Roaches are pulling back a good chunk of the army, but there's nothing being done with this other than a couple of SCVs going down. Okay, I'm maybe being a bit mean there. There are a lot of SCVs going down, plus a supply block for GoOdy. But overall, these Roaches are now kind of stuck in here. The Mutas going in once again, but those missile turrets, the Thor, the Vikings, just tearing apart that flock. And this is where the switch comes through. With more Vikings coming out, preparing GoOdy to deal with those Mutalisks, mass Swarm Hosts. And I mean mass. This is now going up to what is going to be 25 Swarm Hosts. That is so many. Only people like Snoot and Stefano would ever conceive getting more Swarm Hosts than that. GoOdy, he's also going up to the +3 mech attack. No +3 mech armor as of yet. These roaches unfortunately not going to survive for too much longer. Get shot at as they come through. Overlords are about to discover this hidden base, and this is where Golden may feel a little bit frustrated, may feel a little bit annoyed, wishing that he'd taken this down a tad sooner. Going to be going to take that out now. But still, GoOdy, he's had ample amounts of time to get up quite a good position. I'd love to actually see just a couple of Swarm Hosts over this side to try and push through from the left there, trying to split up these siege tanks a little more. This Orbital Command, finally going to get taken down. Second time it's been able to be a ninja base. Meanwhile, still we see Golden just trying to find any way that he can. Still slowly sieging through. 26 Swarm Hosts there. A decent defensive position as well. Note just a handful of Infestors, 3 of them, in case the Viking flock or Viking Armada decides to move any closer. They can take that out nice and quick. So good thinking there by Golden, keeping those up. He's got +3 2 air upgrades coming through. Meanwhile, GoOdy is just continuing to add in, well, not too much. He's still massively supply blocked, so he can't actually produce that much as of yet. Just adding in a couple more Ravens now, which is quite a good choice. And unfortunately for Golden, it's going to be really hard to try and actually engage through this now. I'm keeping an eye on when he's actually going to try and go for this. Waiting now for a couple of Thors, just to go for a little hit squad. They haven't searched for these bases, but do go for a scan now, so a couple of them are going to be diverted to go and deal with that. Only a handful of Lings on their way over to defend. Won't be able to do that. Cool little facts. GoOdy has an equal number now of command centers to supply depots. That's a fun thing. Otherwise, mass Sky Terran army coming through, and that is really where it gets scary times, because the mass Raven force is nigh on unstoppable if controlled well. It literally can just keep on coming at you. Probably the best way you can try and stop it is going for some nice abducts and stuff onto the Ravens, slow and steady. Now we see 2 of these Thors have been taken out, and that means, of course, less bases can get killed, but all in all, it's all about these Swarm Hosts at the moment. That is the plan. Denying mining from this lower right-hand base. I'm surprised a couple weren't kept up here. Would be good to see a couple more little pushes through. Would be really solid to see that, actually. Just splitting these Swarm Hosts up, because that's how you really minimize the siege tank shots, is if they're coming from multiple angles, you can prevent those hits coming through. Some of you in Twitch chat are asking about what world record. The world record is pretty simple. It was the longest game was Mana versus Firecake, to my knowledge, in a competitive game. I cast that with Penguin at WCS EU Challenger, and that was all pretty fun. That was like 3 hours, no, 4 hours and something minutes. It was crazy. So more Ravens still coming out, and this is again all going up to that late game Terran force. Pretty irritating. Going to take a lot of time to get all of this down. But hey, once this mass Raven force comes through, we're going to be seeing a lot of challenging play for Golden. He has got a nice row of Spore Crawlers to try and zone those out for a while. And, well, all while these siege tanks are here, and all while these Swarm Hosts are all grouped up and attacking from the same angle, no Locust is going to get a shot off. And that's why you see a lot of people who use Swarm Hosts long term will come from multiple different angles, because if they're not grouped up, if they're not all funneling the Locust through in one line where the Siege Splash can do so much, you can come from multiple angles, minimize that. What I am quite interested to see is the fact that GoOdy is producing so many more tanks, despite the fact that he's already got more than enough at the moment, and is really trying to, or should be trying to transition into that late game Sky Terran army. The fact he isn't going for that is quite interesting. Or he is going for it, but just slowly, adding in more tanks nonetheless. Golden is literally expanding everywhere at the moment. That is his one and only aim, is to get the biggest bank possible. About to hit that 10,000 minute mark, 10,000 minimal mark rather. I'm sure GoOdy is aiming for the 10,000 minute mark though. 10,000 minerals, 5,000 gas. Golden is going to be able to resupply on pretty much whatever he wants. I'm pretty sure he can get anything. He can't make Hydralisks. That's the one thing he can't get at a quick glance, or Banelings. Other than that, he's got Ultra Cavern, Great Aspire, Infestation Pit. Yeah, he can get anything apart from Banelings and Hydras. So, tanks now going through, trying to engage up against these swarm hosts. This is forcing a retreat now. Nice use of PDDs, preventing the Locust match engaging these tanks, allowing this advance forward to come through, buying the tanks time to siege up. Golden slowly moving back, doesn't want to give up too much space, but this is entirely GoOdy's game plan. The slow siege, max out army, edge it forward, edge it forward, edge it forward. And the trouble for Golden is, how do you stop this? Well, I would argue the best way to stop this would be Vipers. You need Abducts. You need to be able to just yoink out some of these units and pick them apart a couple at a time until eventually GoOdy runs out of money. Because GoOdy's gas is really quite low at the moment. He's only on 3 bases. Sorry, 4 bases. He's just taken that 4th. So, he doesn't have too long to be able to do something. Otherwise, a bit of a splish coming through. A couple of Seeker Missiles going to be going down on some Swarm Hosts. That could get some big hits. Got to be careful. 1 or 2 shots go off there. Oh, a lot of Mutas die because they were above where those Seeker Missiles were hitting. That hurts. That was... well, 24 Mutas have died this game. I'm not quite sure how many it actually was before that. Otherwise, tanks now spreading out. Going to come and deal with some of these expansion points. Also frees up supply, allowing for more Ravens to be produced later on. But Golden, he's starting to falter. He's not able to defend these bases. He doesn't have enough units to spread this out. The Mutas can come and deal with this, but not before these hatches are at a quite severe risk of getting taken out. At least 1 is going to fall here. Maybe 2. Just because the Mutas can't get all those bases at once. These point defense drones still doing brilliant work, preventing obviously any of those infestors, any of those swarm hosts, locusts, from getting any shots off. As these tanks edge on forward, more PDDs placed. The swarm host count slowly getting taken out. We're 31 minutes through this game. Still edging in, more swarm hosts getting taken out, more scans there. Another scan quickly going through. The locusts going to be able to pick off a couple of tanks here, but again, this isn't a huge issue. Note the mass Muta switch now. This is Golden's glorious plan. Add in another 24 Mutas, taking you up to about 50 odd. Just shy of 50 odd. That's a heck of a lot. But again, Mutas, there's still 7 Thors, 15 Vikings, and those 15 Ravens. PDDs, stop Mutas. If a Seeker Missile hits, it's really bad times. Down goes a couple of tanks. Still though, edging forward, we've got more Thors, more tanks, slowly besieging Golden's one of what was his 3rd base, I do believe. And while this isn't a huge problem for mining, because he's still got these 3 bases up to the top left, the bigger concern comes in the fact that all of the tech is at this natural base, pretty much. The Great Aspire, the Ultralisk Cavern, the Rotoran, in the main, the Infestation Pit. If they go down, well, suddenly Golden's big bank becomes useless, and Golden's going to go for this now, moving in with the Mutalisks. Wants to engage head on. The PDDs doing a lot of work, preventing many of those Muta shots coming through, but still going for this engagement. Huge Seeker Missile hits, actually going off on a lot of the Vikings, and this causes a problem. Tanks now getting picked apart very rapidly by this mass Mutalist flock. 39 still remain on the field. Tanks getting taken down left, right, and center. GoOdy in full retreat. He's going to lose all these tanks to the south, but a lot of his Ravens managed to back away. More Thors coming into production, but Golden is going for this. He knows that this is a good opportunity for him to try and push through, trying to get that damage down. Is he going to be able to connect it though? Magic boxing over the Thors is essential at this stage. Seeker Missiles, none of them coming down. Oh wait, there's one coming down. This could be huge if it connects. Managing to pull away that Muta to safety, but more Seeker Missiles come through. That Muta flock gets devastated. The Remax is going to be on 20 Ultralisks. 20! That is a huge Remax. It spends all of Golden's bank. But Golden has done the important thing. He has crushed the mech army. He's got GoOdy down to 132 supply. Spent all of GoOdy's money. If Golden can win Now, and this is probably his best opportunity this game to win the game. He has to move quick. He needs to prevent much else coming out. The Ultras don't really have much of a response in the form of the Ravens, if we're honest here. There's only 6 Thors. That's not going to help too much, but hey, there are 20 Ultralisks. 20 Ultralisks are very, very hungry. This is a normal build. You see this often. Seeker Missile is going to try and come down, but still, there are just so many so many Ultras that these Thors can't stop them. The Seeker Missiles can't stop them. GoOdy is forced to GG out, and Golden, with the 20 Ultralisk Remax, is able to take game number 1 of this best of 3.